So what's going on, guys? It's Captain America. Hope you guys are well, and thank you so much for coming onto this channel. So again, as always, starting off with the match stats. So for this one, we had a 4-0 win, a very dominating, strong performance from the team. We had 11 shots overall compared to 2 from the opposition. We did have the most possession. We had 56 of the possession for the game. And my stats side of things, I had an 8.2 match rating. I had 7 possessions won, 0 possession lost. And then I made 2 tackles at 100%. So, as you can imagine, yep, so from our side it was a strong performance. Again, very late night football, so, the teams that we were playing against didn't have that many players, but that's what's expected, especially as there's no crossplay happening from the PC side of things. So, of course, if we are playing late night pro clubs, it's always going to be hard finding, like, a team that's going to be similar numbers to what we have with human players, or even like a full 11. So no, I think from our side of things, again, as mentioned, it's been a great performance. We were playing some quick passing football with a lot of pressurizing as well. On my side, I'm happy with the clean sheet, and I'm happy that we had a strong scoring performance as well. 4 goals in general. We had 2 goals coming from Adams, and then 1 assist as well from the main boy. Then, of course, Sliv as well. We've got 2 goals from him and then 1 assist. And then the other assist coming from Thiago and Khalil. And just to give you a quick update on like the lineup that we had. So, unfortunately, we didn't have a centre-back, a goalkeeper, nor a right-back for this game. So, everyone else was a human position player. So, we had myself as a centre-back. We had Neymar as a left-back. We had Begovic as the centre midfield defensive role. And then we had Khalil and Thiago as a centre mid. Sliv played as a central attacking midfielder, and then we had Adams, who's usually our first team goalkeeper, but of course late night we wanted to banter, we wanted to chill, so he was playing as a striker alongside Andy. And again, Adams done fantastic with the 2 goals that he did score from this game. Again, just feel free to just watch the game. It's a great performance from the boys. Overly impressed with how we played. We've been playing very slow football and very backwards football for the past couple of days, but I'm glad that we're trying to embed the philosophy that we do have with the quick pass and counter-attack in football. And again, just pressing as much as we can and just to make the mistake from the opposition team. So, I'm glad that we are positioned and how we're playing at the moment. And, with tomorrow's video, I was given a tryout to a lot of the striker positions. And me, I usually play either as a centre-back, always as a centre-back, or sometimes as a midfielder, but I rarely play as a striker. It's just I've never really enjoyed the striker role in this game, but, with the boys last night, we were playing some really good football, and as a striker, I did score many goals, and even assists as well. I think there was like 4 or 5 games, I had like 6 goals and like 4 assists or something like that, so, a very good performance from my side. But yeah, guys, just going into like what we're going to be discussing today and the agenda for today's video. And I know it's been a while and I haven't done much with regards to like the transfers and the transfer discussions. I know I've been doing more of a, let's say, an analysis and my opinions and observations of like different teams, such as like Arsenal, you've got Liverpool, Manchester United, and then Tottenham as well. But today I really want to focus on the transfer side of things, especially as we're getting close now to the Premier League starting very soon. It's ramping up now with the summer market. So many deals are happening. Arsenal been the team that's been spending the most within the let's say the Premier League as such, and they are looking at spending or purchasing more players. But in terms of like the rumours, of course, Man City have now let go of Zinchenko, who's playing on that left side of things. Again, he's a very strange and unique player because his flexibility is so versatile. His positional play has always been like the left back type of position for Man City, but as we've seen with Ukraine and like with other teams, he's always played as an attacking advanced playmaker. So it'll be very interesting to see how Zinchenko, with his move now finalised to Arsenal, how he will mould into the Arsenal team. Will he be a midfielder? Will he be playing as a midfielder, especially with the versatility that he has? Or will he be challenging Tierney in the left-back position? But I don't know, Tierney did have some injuries as such over the past couple of seasons. But I do feel that, the versatility that Zinchenko has, he'll be operated as both a midfielder and a left-back. So, a good purchase for Arsenal. And, the replacement that they're looking for Man City is from Brighton. Cucurella, who's been youthful side of things from the Barca academy, and then progression-wise he didn't do that well with the Barca side, and hence why he did move away and trying to see what he could do. And of course, in the Premier League it's always going to be a tough opportunity to shine, but he was fantastic for Brighton, the player of the season for Brighton, and Man City are looking at placing a bid for him, and the first bid wasn't successful. Brighton know that they have money and they don't want to get their pants pulled down. They want to get as much money as possible. So they're trying to go for 50 mil. That's the target of the value that they're trying to go for. But of course, Man City have bidded for 30 mil. But I do see him moving over to Man City because, again, that window of that position that Man City now have is wide open. So I do see it being finalised towards the end of the window. But again, a fantastic opportunity for him to move across and, to win some trophies with Man City. I think it's going to be a win-win situation. Talking about other players as well, you've got, of course, Lingard, who's such a youthful wonder kid prospect who was at Manchester United, and now he's been, agreed his move over to Nottingham Forest for, in my opinion, a very ridiculous wage salary, especially for just in general. Like, he doesn't deserve a 200k per week salary based on the fact that he's been on the bench most of the season for Man United. Like, don't get me wrong, when he was loaned off to West Ham for a season, or I think it was half a season, I can't remember now, but again, he played fantastic for West Ham. Nottingham Forest, they've just been promoted. They've made some really good acquisitions with players. They've been spending quite a lot of money. The owner has mentioned that, he wants to do what he can to ensure that Nottingham Forest stay in the Premier League and consistently compete within the Premier League. So, he has been ruthless in the transfer market with the spending. And, Lingard, let's see what happens and how he moulds within the team. But 30 is a very elderly age now, let's say, within the football side of things. And again, he hasn't had that much exposure over the past couple of seasons with his first team games. So let's see what happens with Lingard. I think it's a good opportunity for him to finally move permanently away from Manchester United. And I think with him, he wants to get into the fighting battle, going back into like the first team football for the national team. But he did do well for West Ham when he was there on loan, so it's going to be interesting to see how he moulds in Nottingham Forest and their, let's say, journey to stay in the league itself. So that's going to be really, really good to see. And then, of course, you got another left-back let's just talk about from Manchester United, Malacia, who's come from the Dutch league across into the Manchester United fold. He has been playing the past games for the friendlies. And what Ten Hag has been mentioning is he wants to see him more operating as a left-back, of course. But when Manchester United do attack, he wants his position to go more central. And again, I think Ten Hag is trying to copy the philosophy and the positional tactical awareness that, Klopp plays within the Liverpool side of things. Because, as we saw with Trent Alexander-Arnold, for the past season just gone, he was operating as a wing-back, of course, but then he was also moving into a central position, allowing Hendo and Salah to be on the wing. So I think that that's something that Ten Hag has mentioned to Malacia to do. I don't know if it's to allow the midfielders to go into the wing position, but I don't know. But man is copying the Liverpool formation, as well as not even the formation, but the type of style of play, which again, they are leading 2-0 from what I just saw against Aston Villa. That's going to be 4 wins out of 4 in the friendly side of things in this pre-season. I think once the season kicks off, that's when we're going to be truly noticing if any changes have been made and if anything has been embedded into the mindset of the Manchester United players. Because, of course, you could do what you can on the friendlies, and especially with Manchester United, they've been having and playing some very strong lineups in these friendlies. They've been playing David De Gea most of the first team as a goalkeeper. You've got a very strong lineup up front and even in midfield and defence. So, it's going to be an interesting case for Manchester United. But again, my honest opinion is they're not going to get Champions League. They will get Europa next season. But again, I think they're going to be around 7th or 8th. It's going to be interesting to see what Newcastle do with their expenditure. If there's going to be any more acquisitions, as they did do fantastic with Eddie Howe when he did take them over from January to the end of the season. Newcastle were the second position team to obtain the most points in the league for the second half of the period. Liverpool, of course, being at the top. But again, that just shows, what Eddie Howe has done with the players that he did have. And of course, now it's the summer market. He's got the money. He needs to understand what talent that he needs and what he wants to buy. So I do see Newcastle playing very well. And even West Ham as well. Moises has done a fantastic job with West Ham. They've done so great within the Europa League side of things, the progression that they made across, and then I think they lost out to Frankfurt. But again, very strong performance on West Ham's side. And for their side of things, they're looking at strengthening up their team in general, and they were unfortunate to miss out on Lingard, who made the option and the choice to move over to Nottingham Forest. But now they're looking at a Italian, let's say, national team member who plays for Sassuolo, Scamacca, who's been, compared to the likes of Zlatan. But I don't think he is like a Zlatan, don't get me wrong. Yes, the height is very similar. He's a 6'5" striker. He had a fantastic season at Sassuolo last season. 36 games with 16 goals, but again 0 assists. Even the international scene with Italy, he had around I think 6 or 8 games but 0 goals. It's going to be an interesting choice if West Ham do get him, and how he will mold into, let's say, the Premier League. But we have seen a share of like tall strikers. We've got, for the Burnley side of things, who purchased Weghorst, but unfortunately they got relegated. But again, a very tall striker. But no, I think he'll be an interesting option for West Ham, but I don't know if it's going to be the right one. I think that's something that we'll have to just see. But no, and just another one has always been a player that's always been my favourite in like these football managers as well as the FIFAs, has always been like Fabio Silva. He came across from the Portuguese league at a very young age to Wolverhampton, and of course Wolves, we always say in the UK side of things, is a Portugal FC in the Premier League side of things. And Fabio Silva, he's a 20-year-old striker. He's always been a wonder kid in like the football managers and FIFAs, and he hasn't not even done well, but the thing is, at such a young age in the Premier League, which is different, like physicality wise compared to the Portuguese league, it does take some time to mould in, and I do see him still being a very potent striker over the years to come. He's just been loaned out now to the Belgium league, Anderlecht, which is, in my opinion, a very good decision. They've always had good players, and even the league itself is a good opportunity to like do well, especially if you are progressing into like the Champions League or the Europa positions itself. But again, it's a striker that, youthfully wise, his age group is around anything from 2002 onwards. Since he's been born from there, he's made the most appearances as a player that's been born from 2002 until now. He's made the most appearances. That shows that he's always been an active team member, with his first team minutes. But again, as a player, I still see him being a very potent striker, and for years to come, at Wolverhampton. So, that's a player that we'll keep an eye out in the next couple of years. But again, hopefully he has a good season at Anderlecht upcoming. And again, talking about, let's say, the Premier League side of things, Chelsea, we've got them now confirmed for Koundé. They've always been strong within the defensive side of things, Chelsea, over the past seasons. And, something that they've always lacked in over the past couple of seasons is their striker or the central forward position. Lukaku, awful. Werner hasn't been great. Now Werner is demanding, that he wants to have more first team minutes with Chelsea. He does love Chelsea, that's what he's mentioned, but he's not having a good relationship with Tuchel. With Werner, he's always been that type of player who has that opportunity to do well. His youth representations for the German under-17s, under-18s or whatnot, he's always had a very good games to goal ratio. And even we saw that with Leipzig as well. His last season at the Bundesliga, he had around 34 games and 28 goals and 8 assists. Like, such a strong performance. And now, with Chelsea last season, 21 games he had in the Premier League. He only had 4 goals and 1 assist. Again, I don't know what happens with these Chelsea centre-forwards. We've seen it for the likes of like Morata, you've got Higuain, you've got Falcao, you've got Torres, you've got so many individuals, but they seem to not mould within the team. But let's keep an eye on that. But yeah, guys, I've been talking too much and we're coming to the end of the video again. Please do like and subscribe as always. And yeah, we'll catch you guys tomorrow's video. Take care and bye-bye.
And there goes the final whistle.